I was just getting ready to have another rousing game of Animal Crossing. Came out of my house with my fishing rod, ready to go and earn some bells to expand upon my third clothing room, my third clothes closet, when I started to think about my great uncle, who we just called Uncle because that's what he was called in my grandmother's house, my grandfather's house, and myself, and my Uncle Jim, who was my grandfather's son, my mother's brother, and how late in life they in particular were married, and how I myself was married later in life than women used to be in the olden days, at least. And I started to think about my blue hat that I used to wear, my blue tam, and what I have been learning about the puttees or the puttees. Not so much in the sense of actually going to fight the war, but about the blue puttees in the sense of fighting the fight for God, the Christian soldiers. My grandfather's favorite hymn, Onward Christian Soldiers. And I was thinking about my great uncle, who had not married till he was quite old, and my mother saying that he often traveled from one place to another, and he had a significant other, at least she said at one time in Cornerbrook, that they were aware of. Possibly he had other girlfriends or friends because he traveled so much and wasn't married. And in a sense, you're being put, when you're not tied to somebody or married to somebody or spending most of your time keeping a family together or caring for a family, you become part of other families, either in a relationship or a friendship or just some sort of a helping ship. And as a puttee, you, for God, become involved with their message to God, or bringing them to God, or spreading the word of God, or knowing them well, or helping them well with their life, or how their life, they ruled how their life played out. And as I was thinking about that, I went to research the Blue Puttees again, because the last time I had researched it, or the second to last, or the third to last, because I look it up every once in a while when it pops into my head, and I knew it was the beret, at least the blue beret, is found in many cultures and many countries. But in Newfoundland, there was a regiment that they said began in 1949, I guess officially, and there's a base in, or a group, it's reserves. My understanding of reserves, because I'm not very military, I'm more Christian-minded, more, not that military isn't Christian, but I'm more, I'm less involved in the military in my mindset and my spiritual set, and it said that it had existed previous to 1949, but since 1949 there's a regiment in St. John's, and one in, I believe, Grand Falls, which is called Coy, I think, and in Cornerbrook, which is called A Coy, and Stephenville, which is called Secoy. And I wouldn't want to be somewhere where it was called Decoy, but but previous to that, there was some writing discussing the blue berets, the blue puttees, being put, the blue puttees, in Beaumont Hamel, perhaps. And as I was reading about the Battle of Beaumont Hamel and the Battle of the Somme, and thinking to myself again about how difficult it is to do math in a difficult, stressful, or especially war situation, which it really wasn't about technically or at all, I mused that most of the great battles occurred in France. And most of the war dead and the graves of the war would be in France. So that's something else I have to research, to continue learning.